Welcome back to the Scorpio Ascendant YouTube channel. My name is Lala Monfleury, for those of you who don't know. Today we're going to be talking about Pluto in the 9th house. But before we get started, if you haven't already, please go online, find a natal birth chart calculator, get your planetary placements done. I cannot stress it enough how important it is to get the placements of your planets, what sign they were in, what houses they are in at the exact moment that you were born, what your ascendant sign is and how that differs from your sun and moon. This is important because it's like a blueprint to your life. It's a screenshot of where the planets were at the exact moment that you were born, and it will help you in your personal growth and journey and spiritual enlightenment to find out where you are at right now, where you came from, and where you're going. So I can't stress it enough. It changed my life, and I'm here to pay it forward. So without further ado, let's talk about Pluto in the 9th house. I have been waiting to talk about this placement for, honestly, since I started the Pluto series, because this placement is like, I have a lot of experience with Pluto in the 9th house because I'm currently living with a landlord with Pluto in the 9th house. I've known this girl since I was 12. We went to high school together. I've known her forever. And I just she has Pluto in the 9th house as an Aquarius ascendant, and it's very prominent in her. And so I'm going to talk about kind of my experiences with Pluto in the 9th house, and also just like the textbook, like what it is and like how it operates. So let's start with childhood. The 9th house is indicative of like your father's teachings or what you learn from, okay? And it's the original house of Sagittarius ruled by Jupiter. So it's very important that you see when it comes to also the house placements, what the lord of that house is doing and where that lord is placed. So if you have Pluto in the 9th house, you want to look at, first of all, what sign is your 9th house? And second of all, what Jupiter is doing. If he's debilitated, if he's exalted, whatever. And, Pluto, for those of you who don't know, represents control, power struggles, obsession, possession, chaos, crisis, trauma, other people's resources, manipulation, it's sex, taboo. It's like the dark shadow aspects of our psyche. And so when you bring Pluto into the 9th house, we'll start at childhood. These people could have had like a family situation that was almost like broken, or like they could have had a emotionally distant father, and they could have felt like not necessarily abandoned by their father, but more so like their father wasn't present. This particular 9th house Pluto person that I know, her father was there, but like she grew up, with divorced parents, and he was there, but he wasn't there. You know what I mean? And they just, oftentimes they like yearn and seek for this connection to this like fatherly figure, fatherly role, fatherly teachings, and oftentimes they don't feel fulfilled in that in that area in life. And this manifests this like trauma as a child of feeling like your father doesn't care about you that much, or maybe he had other obligations that he tended to over yours, or maybe your father in and of himself was somebody that was very secretive, who had a lot of skeletons in his own closet, who maneuvered through life kind of like a Pluto person would, kind of like dominating. Your father might have dominated like the narrative when you were a child as well. So like he could have been like, anytime you addressed him with something that he did to you, or that like he might have hurt your feelings, anytime you address him, he would like, maybe emotionally manipulate you, or emotionally manipulate his way out of it. And so there's like that absence of connection. So people with Pluto in the 9th house, like it manifests as like they start feeling like they they become like that missing void in other people. So they oftentimes feel like they're the ones now that, like, in order to heal this void of not having like this relationship with authority figures, or not having this like healthy bond with father like teachings, or like guru like teachings, or like people trying to like they're incapable of being like a Padawan, for instance. Like, they are the master. So like, to heal that like void and that trauma that they have from having that missing, oftentimes they will become the teacher. They like to become the teacher to other people, and they do it in a way where it's like overbearing and over dominating. And so a lot of times, if this goes uncorrected, or if this goes unchecked, these could be the type of people that, they know how to do everything, and they won't always let you kind of like get a word in. They'll always kind of like have this downward social comparison when it comes to people, because remember, Pluto is that power struggle and control. So like anything that has to do with like ninth house things, it's like they're the ones that have the final say on it. They're the ones that like know best, and they will power struggle you out of the position of being the one that knows. Especially this particular person that I know is an Aquarius ascendant, who are very, very smart, rightfully intelligent. It's like the science and technology and things that have to do with like Aquarius is, they really like that stuff, and they really do enjoy research. And so when Pluto's in the ninth house, though, it's like they use that research that they have like accumulated to almost like stomp on other people, or to like, when they foil themselves against other people, a lot of times they can be like, I'm better than you because I'm smarter than you, and this is why. And then they'll like, kind of like a Pluto in the third house. A Pluto in the third house will like over dominate a conversation, but Pluto in the ninth house is more so like kind of like the cult leader. It's like they have a way that they think that like life should manifest and work, and if you're in their circle, you have to abide by this like narrative. If you're in their life, it's almost like you have to abide by their advice, and like how they say that the ship needs to run. And if you don't, it becomes a problem with them. Like, they really don't like that. These people don't like to be challenged at all. They operate really great when you're yes manning them. You can yes man them till you're blue in the face. They love that, when you're like, oh, you're so smart, oh, you really know what you're talking about, like, kiss their ass. Like, they love that. You tell these people straight up like what it is, they do not like it. Like, these are the type of people that if they were to go to like a therapist and get like a diagnosis, they'd be like, no, you're wrong. They go to another one to diagnose them the same. Like, this particular one, has borderline personality disorder. And I'm not saying that everybody that has Pluto in the ninth house has borderline. I'm not even saying like you could see borderline from Pluto in the ninth house, even though there is like, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm putting that out there. But when you look at the symptoms of borderline personality disorder, and if like the placement for Pluto in the ninth house is very similar, like that staggering, like that you always have to be like staggered under with somebody that has borderline personality disorder. It's like the same thing with Pluto in the ninth house. Is like they have to see themselves just a little bit above you, and they're constantly like trying to compete when it comes to things that involve like the ninth house and like knowledge and intelligence, you know what I mean? And it's not that these people aren't intelligent, like they are, but it's almost like they get their confidence from that, or it's like this very strange like internal dynamic with them, where it's like they feel like because they didn't have that like healthy relationship with like a someone that they could go to that will tell them like, this is what you need to do to move forward, or this is what the best course of action would be. Like, they try to become that way for other people, and they oftentimes don't realize that, like, it's difficult to be in like a relationships with or have like friendships or bonds with people that like that, because you got to respect other people's space, and you have to make space and room for people to be like who they are, to make their own mistakes, or to choose their own path in life. Or if you love somebody, if they think that this is what's best for them, or I'm going to go take this course of action, like that is healthy to do. But people with Pluto in the ninth house have a hard time like seeing people like in their orbit make moves that like weren't ran by them. You know what I mean? Like, they for some reason feel like they have the last say on things. And when you yes man, like I said, and I usually, like with this one, I usually do, because like I don't really care, I'm really laid back. But then it's like when what you're doing affects me and like my freedom, that's when my Pluto in the first house like erupts. But normally I've gotten like to a point where like I kind of keep it under control. But me and this chick butt heads a lot. Like today, for instance, like power struggle, and it all started because I didn't agree 4 months ago. I didn't agree with a course of action that she chose to take, and we just like disagreed. But it's 4 months later, I'm still paying the price for it. And like this chick, she was home, I left my keys inside, she refused to open the door because of a power struggle from 4 months ago. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's ridiculous. Like these people really, really have power struggles, I think, more than a lot of the other placements when it comes to Pluto, because this is like the learning, the teachings, the conversations, that's the ninth house of like the higher knowledge and the higher wisdom. And so when you challenge these people, it's a problem, especially like in conversations. And so the advice that I have for people that have Pluto in the ninth house is that, Pluto has the ability to transform no matter what his placement is. This is like, Pluto is transformative energy. He is the phoenix that rises out of the ashes. And sometimes, wherever he's placed, sometimes we have to realize like our own inner Pluto, which is what Pluto's trying to teach us. And so if you're constantly getting into problems with your friends or your loved ones, or you see people that you really care about leaving your life often and you don't know why, you don't understand like what you're doing, because a lot of times Pluto's when it's left in the subconscious, it could go like unchecked. Just try to like if you notice that you're over-speaking somebody, or if you notice that like common denominators in your friendships when it comes to like your ability to communicate your thoughts and stuff like that, just let people be heard and be like, and validate, what you hear. Even if you disagree, you could still validate that this person feels this way or understands that way. But maybe like word it in a way like, oh, that's interesting that you read that. Like, I read this article and it said something a little bit different. I didn't come across like that article. I've never heard that. Like, could you share that information with me? I would love to expand my knowledge. It's hard for people with Pluto in the ninth house to do that, because there's a lot of pride here. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times, especially if you're an Aquarius ascendant, you value your intelligence, and like there's nothing wrong with that. But it becomes wrong when you have to devalue someone else's intelligence in order to feel secure, and that's when it gets hard and kind of disrespectful and hard to be, friends with these people for long term, because it's like oftentimes as the friend of the native that has Pluto in ninth house, sometimes you could feel like, wow, this person really doesn't respect me, or wow, this person thinks I'm stupid or something, or wow, this person is trying to infantilize me. You know what I mean? Like, why does this person always think that they're better than me? Why is this person always, just like rude and making like, comments like I'm stupid and I don't know what I'm talking about? You know what I mean? It's like, I read, like they know I read, like, it's like, it's just exhausting a lot of times. But these people have the potential to be extremely intelligent and know what they're talking about. But like, you got to lead people in the right direction. Don't lead people like doom, you know? Like, that's the thing with Pluto. It's a toss-up. Like, you could either, like, lead people down the wrong path if you have it in the 9th house. You could either lead people down the wrong path if you have it in the 9th house, especially if it's in Scorpio. This particular person has it conjunct Lilith in the 9th house in Scorpio, which is kind of nuts. Or, you know, you could lead people down a good path, and a healthy path, and a path of healing. You can heal people through your, you know, guidance, rather than, you know, lead them into drugs and into, like, you know, whatever other nefarious things that, like, you might be into. So that's my video on Pluto in the 9th house. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you would like to have your birth chart read and you don't know how to do it yourself, please give me an email and I'd be happy to help you out with that. Thank you guys so much, and I'll catch you next time for Pluto in the 10th house.